Thanks everybody for joining us today. My name is Mitch Nightingale with Elevate Rapid City and Ascent Innovation. Welcome to another in our webinar series that we've been doing ever since the pandemic started, and we'll continue to do long into the future, hopefully after the pandemic is over. This is a monthly spotlight of a tenant or member client in the Ascent Innovation Incubator. Today we have a very special one. This is not a for-profit company or startup like we normally have. This is actually one of our resource partners, the South Dakota Governor's Office of Economic Development. They've been a great partner to us for a long time, and they office their West River group right out of our building, so we're kind of a one-stop shop in that way. With that, I'm going to welcome Lori Frederick and have her introduce herself, and we also have Hannah Sage that sounds like she's having some computer problems this morning, so she might be jumping on as a panelist as well. So, Lori, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thanks, Mitch. Thanks for inviting us. So my name is Lori Frederick, and I am a senior business development representative with the Governor's Office of Economic Development. I house out of actually the West River area. I'm in the office there in Rapid City a couple days a week, or was prior to a lot of the COVID situation. But I'm also up in the Northern Hills. My office is out of Leeds. So I'm kind of throughout the whole area.
Great. Well, thanks again for joining us, Lori. So to everybody, a couple housekeeping things. You can click down at the bottom for the Q&A or the chat. In either case, we will be answering your questions as we go. Please ask questions. I've got a few for Lori as we go, and they've got some introduction stuff, but this is really meant to answer community questions about any programs or anything they've got coming in the future. So please be interactive throughout this. If you have to miss part of this, or if you want to share it with somebody, make sure to subscribe and send the link to all of your friends to the Elevate Rapid City YouTube channel. We're getting really close to 100 subscribers, which they tell me is an important milestone. I don't know if we're going to do a prize for the 100th subscriber, but you don't want to miss it. So subscribe if you haven't already, and we will get everybody that link and all that. Man, I really lost my train of thought there. All right, so enough about me and Elevate. Lori, can you just start just from a total layman's perspective, what is the South Dakota Governor's Office of Economic Development?
So our role within the state is to assist businesses. That, I guess, to put it in a nutshell. We have some goals, some different things. Our mission is to assist businesses and to help them expand within the state of South Dakota. We know that by doing that through businesses, that they help assist bring a higher quality of life to all of South Dakotans. So basically our role is to work with the businesses, whether they are from out of state looking to come into the state, or actually working a lot with the businesses that are already here. So as you're looking at starting up, expansions, those types of things, we do so through a lot of different resources. So we might be the person that you contact to help you connect with other agencies in the state. We might also be the individual or the organization that helps with some financing for your project. It just depends on the projects and the needs of the businesses.
Sorry about that. Lori, you mentioned financing, which is always on any business's mind, especially these days. I know there's a few specific programs and criteria for those. Can you talk about like the proof of concept money and things like that a little bit?
So we have a number of different programs, the proof of concept, and I'll be honest with you, this is probably a little bit more on Hannah's because she works a lot more with that program. But basically what we look at is if you have an idea, something that you're wanting to go forward with, working with, and you're trying to come into what's that funding to help you get that project or to figure out whether that project is viable, right? You've got an idea, we need to put it together, need to know. And so that's what the proof of concept funding helps to assist with, is getting that project and helping you to prove that it is a project or something that could go to market. It's not a loan as such. It has some different criteria and different things with it, but it varies depending on the project and those kinds of things. So, as far as getting into some real intimate details, I would really recommend that you contact us, because that's really what's going to help us to understand what your project is and whether it could be viable for it, and how it can move forward. But basically, if you've got a proof or a project that you'd like to go forward with, and you want to understand how it, if it can go to market, we can help with those proof of concept on there.
Okay, great. So Lori, what's your ideal process? Like, what is a business coming to you with? What stage are they normally in, or what do you hope that they're in at the point when they're getting a hold of you?
We see businesses in all stages. So we like to be brought in early on the projects. So if you're getting at startup, we would like to be part of that. Some of it is we have opportunities, not just with the proof of concept, but if you're looking at expanding or going into a business, starting your business, building, you need equipment, those types of things. We have programs for that as well. We like to also assist. We have some workforce programs. So maybe you're a startup, but you need to hire that person coming on, and you need to have that higher talent. So we help with some of those types of things. So the earlier that we have come into the project, the better for us, because then we can kind of help assist and see where we can start in, or we can help with our other resources, which might be the local resources that are available even in the Rapid City area or across the state. So we can help kind of guide for that. So we really like I said, we don't necessarily rule anyone out. Some of our programs fit better with some industries than others. Obviously, the technology worked very well. Manufacturing worked very well with our programs. So those are the programs that really work the best in those industries.
And I know that you have things, as you mentioned, the workforce and things like that. Some of that is more on the scaling and the growth. I've found when talking to companies that are maybe 2 or 3 years into operations, and I'll say, have you talked to GOED lately? When I say, oh yeah, I talked to them, right away when I started. I said, well, it might be worth calling them again, because you're 36 months later and you might be eligible for different programs than you were the first time.
Exactly. So we try to keep an open communication. So, if you talk to us when you first started up and we weren't able to assist at that point, that doesn't mean we'll never be able to assist. So as your company starts to scale, as it starts to grow, there again, it's good to kind of come back to us or just reach out to us and let us know what's happening, because sometimes our programs also change, or there are other things that have come forward. So we really like to keep that touch base with you. We try to do that through our business engagement visits. So we try to reach out to as many companies as we can, people that we've talked to, but obviously there's Hannah and I on the western part of the state. So it's a little more difficult for us to reach every business. So we love it when they contact us. So our door's open.
Great. You mentioned those business expansion visits. So your hope is to see everybody about every 12 to 18 months or so, right? I mean, obviously there's only so many hours in a day, but.
Right. And yeah, so that's really our goal, is to go in and actually have you tell us about your business. We love to hear what you're doing, how you're doing, The visits are confidential, so any plans you have for expansion, those types of things, we don't share that with everybody in the world. We just hear that from you, and then we can see whether or not we can assist in some way if you need it, or connect you with other individuals or resources that can assist and help you. But that's really our goal. We've done fairly well on those visits this year. Obviously with COVID, some of them have not been face-to-face. We've actually done them through Zoom like we're doing here. But we would love to hear from you and love to hear about your business. That's what we're really here for.
Yeah, and it's really meant to help, right? I mean, you hear occasionally someone's like, oh, it's state government doesn't need to be Big Brother knowing what's going on, but that's not your intent, right? You're not trying to gather intel for any reason.
No, we don't share this. Anything we learn about your company stays within our agency. And when I say that, if you tell me that you're going to add 50 more employees, I don't get a hold of the Department of Revenue or anybody to let them know that you're going to be adding more employees. That's not what we do. We're here to work for you and for your business. We're not a regulatory agency. We actually are an assistance. And so we don't regulate anybody. We don't do those types of things.
All right, we'll switch over to a participant question here because I'm running out of them anyway. Shay asks, do you help new companies connect with the other agencies for state or necessary licensing like the USDA, SDDA? I don't know what the SDDA is, so maybe you do, Larry.
Yes, we do. So we have a number of partners. So we can help you connect with USDA. We have all of those resources and connections. We have all of those. So you just need to let us know what you're trying to find out and where those individuals are, and we can get you connected.
South Dakota Department of Agriculture. Just figured that out. And how does that work? Do you have a good direct relationships with those, or is that something you've got to go all the way to your commissioner and then down through cabinet members, or how does that normally work?
So with like USDA, those types of things, we actually have resource partners. They have individuals. So Hannah and I have a list of individuals that we can connect them with. And it depends a lot of what you're looking for. So, it depends on what part. So USDA and SDA, Department of Ag has a number of different areas. So we really just like to see what you're looking for. And then normally we can do that through either an email type of introduction, or we can set up a call and have that introduction that way. It just depends on what you're looking for.
I got a question from Bruce. What are some of the programs available to businesses in different stages? We talked a little bit about proof of concept. Can you just kind of highlight a few more of your programs?
So probably the most, I guess I would say is popular is the READY program. And that READY program is when you're ready to take that step to maybe purchase your equipment, purchase a building, you're looking at that at next level. So you've started your business and now you've been leasing and you're ready to move into your own type of operation. It can be used for that. We have the microloan program, which is used a lot for equipment. It's used a lot for some of the different things as far as working capital along that line. We have the workforce program. So there again, if you're looking at adding anybody in the STEM industry into that workforce, there is some grants available to help and assist with that. So there are a number of programs. We have them all on our website. We do ask that you come to us, a business development rep, and work through us. And the reason why with our process, if you come through us and work with us, we do what we call a pre-review. So through that pre-review, we can answer a lot of questions and get through a lot of the things versus if you just directly apply, they're going to come back and have those questions for you and a number of those things. So through that pre-program and working with us, maybe we can get through some of those questions and get through some of that a little bit sooner for you. And then we do what we call that pre-program. We review it, and then we will offer you a letter, basically an invitation to apply for the programs. So.
Follow-up question from Bruce, Lori. Then how do you fit in with banks and the Small Business Administration?
All of our programs, we actually partner with a lender. So with the banks, so with our READY program, we will do up to 45% of the project. The lender then would do 45% of the project with 10% equity injection. That's our max we will do. We will not do more than the lender. So if the lender says to you, we'll do 40% of the project, we'll match that. We're not here to compete with the lenders. We're here to help and partner with to give better terms maybe, or to help get through for some of those projects that need that extra assistance. As far as the SBA, we can partner with the SBA, but a lot of times their programs, especially right now, are showing some really good terms in this types of things. So if they go through the SBA and do a SBA guaranteed loan, sometimes our workforce program is what then comes in with that. So we can partner with them. It's just that working with the lender of an SBA loan, sometimes that's a better route than trying to partner with us on some of those. So we always look at this. It's not about us using our programs. It's about us helping you to get what works best for your business.
And you, as you mentioned, you're a match. You're usually taking a second position. You're not.
We either share first or we do a second position depending on the project.
Sure. And you don't ever take equity in a business. You're not taking part ownership in any companies or anything like that, right?
No. Yeah. So yeah, we share. I mean, we have to have the collateral, that type of thing. We look through the programs similar to those, but there again, we're not actually taking any ownership or anything in a company.
Sure. I know that non-diluted capital is a big thing, especially these days, and so you're finding more and more some good but some bad intentioned venture capitalists that are kind of coming in and taking large shares, and people aren't realizing what they're getting themselves into, I think. I happened to have met Shay yesterday, and so I think your office maybe has talked to her, but would you give us your stance? I know there's kind of a message you need to get out there about, with the legalization, and cannabis and CBD and things like that. You've basically got your kind of standard answer you need to get out there, don't you, Lori?
Well, so where we sit with that situation is that any of the business end of that, whether it's the growers, whether it's the dispensaries, those types of things, that licensing requirements have not been determined. And that is done through the Department of Revenue. So the Department of Revenue is handling that whole area of the licensing. So until those licensing requirements have been completed and all of that has been put forth, we're not really in a position that we can work with financing those projects or start talking about those projects, because obviously you'll have to be licensed in the state and have that type of criteria completed before we can help you move forward with the business. So we're kind of in a holding pattern. So right now, if you have questions regarding that, the Department of Revenue is your best bet. My understanding is that they have, through the legislation, that they have until April of 2022 to complete that, what the licensing requirements will be. That doesn't mean that they're going to take that long. It just means that they've been allowed that much time to complete and to review that process. But the Department of Revenue is really your first stop right now to talk to them about what they're seeing and where they may be going forward with it.
Okay. I appreciate that. That's a question we're getting quite a bit lately as well. Back to your programs, Lori, kind of one of my favorites is the Dakota Seeds program. I really think that's a underutilized or misunderstood program. Could you talk a little bit about that one?
So Dakota Seeds really works with some internships and those types of things of how to bring and create that pipeline for you for some workforce. It's for your future skilled workforce. It can be for college students. It can be some with high school students, but it's basically an internship. And it's a paid internship, and it can be filled by family members of the business ownership group as well. So there is some requirements for wages on this. The requirement is it must be at least $10 an hour. But it's basically designed to help you as an employer to start bringing that pipeline of students in, whether that would be, like I say, at a high school level or at a college level. And the one thing about internships that if you have not done them, a lot of people think, oh, that's a lot of work, but it's really helping you to establish those pipeline of employees. And I always say I've done them before in my business. It's a 3 to 6 month job interview. Right? You have that individual working for you, you're showing them your business, that type of thing. And on the same token, that individual is also interning with you and learning about your company. And at such a time when they're out of college or they're available for that full-time job, you both have a really good idea of the work ethics on both sides. And it gives you that opportunity then to put them into that place and start to create that pipeline. And word of mouth, if they understand and think you're a great place to work, they're going to tell their friends, they're going to tell others that they have. And so therefore it starts to open up that you're going to seeing some more applicants, seeing some more opportunities. So I encourage everyone to really look at that internship program and look at the Dakota Seeds. It's a great opportunity for you. And we know that workforce and finding that People are one of the most important things that's happening right now. It's people that make businesses. So that's one of the reasons that we really like that program.
Yeah, absolutely. Bruce had another question. Do any of your programs provide benefits other than cash?
I guess a little more explanation. We do have some, like you say, we have our financing programs. As far as other types of programs, mentoring or coaching, okay. Really, the business development reps consider a lot with the businesses, but we also have partners that do that. Obviously, with you guys, with the local economic development organizations. We also work with the small business development centers. We work with a number of different, so if it's something that perhaps isn't in our expertise or wheelhouse, we work with a lot of other partners and help that make those referrals as well. So yes, we do work with some businesses. I work, my expertise, my background is in small businesses. So, anybody that has questions and wants to just kind of talk about those types of things, I'm open to that and available. But it's not something that we probably have a formal program we do. It's more based on that relationship with the business development rep.
Yeah, you, in some ways, are really trying to provide that network, right, and get people referred to the right spot.
Right.
You mentioned local economic development organizations. Lori, I know that I think close to from the beginning, you've been a part of and maybe even helped start the Rushmore Region Alliance, which is kind of a consortium of, I guess, West River or Black Hills economic development offices. Can you talk a little bit about that and maybe the potential that has and your GOED's involvement in it as well?
So Rushmore Region Alliance is a committee of Black Hills Community Economic Development, and it is made up of economic development professionals throughout the Black Hills region. So they basically have two areas that they're looking at. One is bringing focus to the Rushmore region, and that focus is not just for business development, but also for workforce development, bringing in talent. So there's a marketing portion of that where they are looking at bringing in and having people understand and realize what's happening there. The second run is actually that capacity building, helping individuals to understand at all levels, whether it's the community, elected officials, just everyone in your area and community to understand what economic development is, what it can be, and the importance of supporting businesses and supporting the local industries that you have, and also looking at those new industries and maybe supporting and focusing and going beyond those. So that's a lot of what they work on is basically that marketing piece as well as looking at that capacity building.
Yeah, so I attend the meetings regularly. Elevate Rapid City is a part of that group, and I think it's a really impressive group. And so I just encourage anybody that, if you live and work, well, you obviously live and work somewhere probably in the Black Hills area, but, reach out to us for sure if you haven't in the past. You found out about this obviously somehow, but if you're in Hill City or Spearfish or Wall, make sure you get to know that economic development rep, because one, like, they're working really hard, but they also have this network they can reach out to and find answers and have lines back to Lori and all that. So,
and if you're not sure who that individual is in your community, please reach out to me. We have those connections with all of those as well, and even across the state. So we work very closely with the economic development organizations in the state. So
Shay had another question. Are there grants to help with STEM and or minority internships and to help fund an intern?
So that's part of the programs, is to help with the STEM. We don't have anything specifically based on minority or any that type of line. It's more based on industry, so STEM. One of the other things is you want to look at is the Department of Labor also has internship programs. So there's some different things. If you're looking at a new position or something that you don't have and maybe has not come forward, the Department of Labor can help you set up that internship program. So if they know that internship program, they can take that information and those things that you need to go through for an internship and help you develop that as well. So we partner quite a bit with the Department of Labor on doing some of those things as well.
Lori, we're not where, but I know we've seen some interests in the state and in our region more so lately than in the past. Can you speak a little to that and kind of the excitement that you're seeing just in terms of South Dakota getting on the map a little bit more with people finally realizing our great quality of life and things like that? So.
Mm-hmm. So we're seeing from all sides, actually, as far as when I say that, there's a lot of talent. So we're seeing people that are interested in maybe getting out of very large metropolitan areas or in those types and moving to areas where they see a little slower pace of life, as well as having that quality of life that the Black Hills offers. So we're seeing some talent that's also coming in, as well as businesses. You're all doing business here in South Dakota, I would say that if you're on here, and probably aware, if you're not aware of how great a business environment that we're actually able to enjoy here. So we're seeing a lot of interest in the aerospace and defense, technology companies in different capacities. Obviously, when we talk, technology, that's a wide open field, but there's a lot of different things that they're looking at. We're also seeing some ag-related businesses that come in are looking at the area of value-added agriculture. So there's a lot of industries that we fit well with in the Black Hills region, and those are the ones that are really kind of looking and coming into the area. And some of it is just how our business climate, our quality of place, as well as the fact just how our governor has handled and how our administration has handled the situation with COVID and not completely shutting everyone down. That has been appreciated, that they've had the opportunity to make that decision for themselves. So that's been a big thing on there.
Sure, absolutely. Lori, I don't think we talked about it much at the top, but another part of your job and what GOED does is that business attraction. I won't ask you to get into any of the secrets of what might be coming, but can you, it was something I didn't understand. Can you just talk a little bit about that process? And I've always just been amazed that someone just kind of randomly reaches out to South Dakota and asks about it. So
there's a couple different ways we go at it. One of the things is we actually, through our business engagement visits, we actually talk to you and say, is there a supplier? Is there someone in your supply chain or someone you're supplying to that would fit well, that you'd love to have in next door to you in the business park or the Ascent Center? And that's where we then can reach out to them and start that conversation with them. We also have businesses, like I say, that have been contacting us and saying, hey, we've been hearing about South Dakota a lot. We want to know what it's like to do business in South Dakota. So there again, we follow up as a business development rep. We talk to them. We talk about our business climate, about what South Dakota is really about. We can send them some data, information on that, talk about what it's like to have a business here in the state. Sometimes we host those businesses. We actually bring them in. They want to see the area. And in that case, we might be reaching out to you as a business who's already here and saying, hey, we think you guys might be able to do business together. Can you talk together? It just varies. We don't do a lot of those types of hostings, but we do those periodically. And then, like I said, a lot of it is just also we have done some campaigns where we actually did a campaign in Minnesota and just talked about our business climate and those types of things, and actually reached out and did some advertising and those types of things in Minnesota. Anybody that's not familiar with some of our surrounding states, it's a little more difficult to do business in those states. Their tax status, they have a lot of red tape in some of those communities in those states. So, and their state government is not exceptionally stable. And so why does that make a difference for a business? So South Dakota is a fiscally stable state. We are 100% funded for our anything in our government is 100% funded as far as the fact we have a balanced budget, and other states do not. So when there is that difference, some of the times that their primary answer is then to tax businesses, right? To increase taxes. So For instance, in, I think, the state of Illinois, their government, as far as their retirement and that type of thing, I think is only funded at maybe 50 to 60%. I got to quote me on that, but where our government, our retirement is funded at 100%. So we're not going to have to be going back to the businesses and asking for additional taxes and doing those types of things. So those are some of the different things. South Dakota has the 6th lowest operating costs in the nation. If you're not aware of that, we are one of the lowest costs to do business in. And, we don't have things like corporate income tax and personal income tax or personal property tax. And if you're not aware of that when it comes to a business, I actually did business in the state of Nebraska for a period of time. And we had what we called a personal property tax, which means all of my equipment every year I paid a tax on. So there are some advantages of doing business in South Dakota. And they really help with our lower costs. So, and Rapid City area, that metro area, I just pulled statistics yesterday, and I believe it's growing at about a 12% growth rate. So you're seeing some increase in that, and that's fantastic. It's one of the fastest growing areas in the state.
So that makes it easier when you're talking to out-of-state companies and you can project that kind of information, right? In addition to that information, Lori, what are you excited about? We've got the B-21 Raider coming. We've got, new developments with the Sanford Underground Research Facility, the South Dakota School of Mines, Western Dakota Tech, Black Hills State, they are all in a great spot these days, have really, really done well, in pivoting in COVID and also, enhancing some of their programs. I know there's some partnerships now. Kind of just in general, what are you excited to talk to companies about, or what are you just excited about for our region?
All of those things combined is how everyone in our region is partnering and looking at what's the best opportunities for our area. So it's not just, sometimes I get a question of, well, we got all these companies coming, what kind of, what's this going to happen to our area? It's really a thoughtful approach to growth. And there is a lot of conversation among all of the partners that help to facilitate that. So I think that's one of the things that excites me, is the fact that it's not growth for the sake of growth. It's growth for what can be better for the next generations and what can help to create opportunities for all of South Dakotans. And I see that a lot in our area and those partnerships. Rushmore Region Alliance is a great example of all of the economic development people conversing, getting together, talking. Elevate Rapid City and your partnership, how you guys have merged and done those types of things. I see that across all of our area. And I think that's one of the things that I find the most exciting, is those partnerships and that conversations regarding growth.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everybody, your last warning here. If you have one more question, you can have a bunch more questions, but I won't belabor it otherwise. So, Lori, as we give everybody one more chance, what did I miss? What else would you like to highlight, or just kind of your last words here?
I think that, not only if you're looking at your growth, and as you're looking at to contact us, if you know of other companies, like I said, if we can help bring someone in that would make your life better, easier, or you've talked to someone, a supplier or something that says, hey, it's really hard for me right now where I'm doing business in whatever state that is, please let us know. We're happy to reach out to them. We're happy to talk to them. We're here to help make your business better. And if that means bringing in a supplier or bringing in something else, if we can, we're more than happy to try to make that effort and to do that for you. So it's like I say, we're here to basically be your resource and to assist you.
We did have another question here. What do you see from Bruce? What do you see in terms of workforce shortages?
What I'm really seeing as far as that is there may be, we're going to have to focus on what we call some upskilling, right? We have people who are maybe working in positions and those types of things that could fill other positions, but it's going to take some training and some opportunity for them to do so. As far as the workforce, I think we're starting to see a few more people understand that we do have quite a bit of technology and some really good positions in this area. And they're starting to come back. They may have been in South Dakota previously. They may have grown up in South Dakota. They left because there wasn't those jobs there. And now they're starting to really understand and see that there are some opportunities for them. But I think that one of the things we will have to take a look at is just from a company standpoint, will there have to be some training and some efforts on a public-private partnership? I'm not sure that all of the training is going to be able to be done completely by the school systems, whether that's secondary school, whatever that is. I think there's going to have to end up being some partnerships there from your companies as well as with those to really move that needle forward as faster than it is right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Another question here, and this is kind of part of our wrap up. So Lori, can you spell out your website and kind of how to get more information?
Okay, the website is actually SD, South Dakota SD, GOED.com. Okay. So that's one of the opportunities to get more information. Like I say, you can also contact us, either Hannah or myself, and that would either through the Ascent Center, you can do that and contact, and then you can get a hold of us directly there. Probably the easiest.
Yeah, so make sure to look there. If you have trouble with any of that, anyway, go to elevaterapidcity.com, and we have links to GOED there, and also to this webinar and to other things that GOED has done in partnership with us. Make sure to check us out on Facebook as well as GOED. I know they're active on social media. While you're at our site, if you go to our resources page, you'll find all of our training and webinars. There's a special spot there for COVID-19 resources. I know that we've partnered with GOED on some obtaining government contracts, webinars and things like that. Again, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can replay this one and share it with your friends, as well as see all of the other past trainings that have went on. With that, I don't think we've got any more questions. And so, Lori, thanks so much. Thanks for adding your contact information in there. So what we'll do here is I want to again thank Lori, and I'll probably shut off my screen here as soon as we're done, but we'll leave the chat up for another 30 seconds if you need to scroll back through and copy down any of that information. Any final words, Lori? I just really appreciate your time, though.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And like I say, we're here to help.
All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for joining us today. We'll have to give Hannah a little grief for not being able to get on today, but that's the world we live in with technical problems for sure. And so with that, if I guess there isn't anything else, because I'm not going to go any longer. So thanks again, Lori. Thanks, everybody, and have a great day.
You too. Thank you.